He met with the media today, and he was asked about the improving chemistry with his wide receivers.
I think footwork and I think all that ties into a lot. That ties into trust. That ties into knowing where you guys are going to be. That ties into everything. So that's where you see the improvement because we had that leap of faith, this past week, with knowing that the receiver's going to be in the right places, looking everybody in the eyes saying, I'm going to be there, I got you, building that foundation, building that trust. So when everything, when I trust, then you get the best out of me. You get what I'm saying? It's hard for me as a player to not trust things and play my best. So I'm just thankful that we built those relationships that quickly within the receiver room and within the team and within the O-line and everything. But we're not content.
Jimmy, I've said this a couple of times this week. There are 3 or 4 throws that he has made pretty much in each of his starts, probably except the first one when he came in against the Ravens, where it's like, that's the kind of throw you're looking for a NFL starting caliber quarterback. Now, if he cleans up the rest of the stuff, we're there.
I think for this, again, you don't have to, this idea that the Browns have to decide on whether they're going to draft a quarterback today, next week, the end of this month. Development takes time. The trust that Shedeur is talking about, how many throws did he make on Sunday? It's like, man, he had to anticipate that throw didn't come open. He had to throw it open. That takes time to develop. And it's completely reasonable, again, to reverse engineer the entire thing once again. Shedeur Sanders had never played a backup role or on a long-term trajectory in his career before. It is reasonable to expect for that to be a difficult, bumpy road, and it is reasonable for him to grow into that, to expect that he'll grow into that over time. It's reasonable to expect that you throw him out there against the Ravens and he doesn't look very good because he wasn't prepared to play, because you can't be prepared to play unless you know you're going to play the entire week, and then get better. I just think that there's such a rush to make determinations. This whole season with the Browns has been about collecting information, and the information they're collecting on Shedeur Sanders right now is very promising. But let's collect some more. That's the beautiful thing. We got to take another look and against some teams that are gonna be like the Chicago Bears are in the middle of a division race and they're chasing the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Buffalo Bills are going to be they're going to be in a division race. They're going to be trying to improve their playoff seeding. Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to win this terrible AFC North. The Bengals, we'll see about week 18, but these games, maybe not for the Browns. They're already eliminated from playoff contention, but they're going to have some stakes on the other side. And obviously they have stakes for Shedeur because he's trying to cement himself as the future starting quarterback here. But I think that the way I was framing this, TLDR of all the gobbledygook I just spewed here, last week was the time where it was fair to ask the question, should the Browns maybe consider going elsewhere with their draft pick? But the answer doesn't have to be yes right away.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think it's all context, too. I don't think I would combine the first-round picks to get up to get one because you need so much. But if one of them is sitting there when you pick and you really like him, even if Shedeur is good, you don't turn your back on a quarterback early in the draft that you think can play 10 or 15 years in the NFL.
Yes. Since when did it become a problem to have 2 good young quarterbacks? You can always, if you have 2 good young quarterbacks, that's the best problem that the Browns have had since 1990. It's a problem that they wish that they've been able to have for the last 30 years. I just don't I'm kind of with you on the idea. If you have to mortgage your future, this pick advantage that you have to trade up for number 1. I'm more reticent to do that, mostly because of the amount of needs that they have across the roster. You have to, whether that means bringing some of these guys back, and Ethan Posich with the Achilles injury makes this even more complicated than it already was. You have to either retain and or replace the entire starting offensive line that you started this season with, right? You have to upgrade the receiving core. You just have to. And that's before, those are just the baseline to field a starting 22. Now talk about planning ahead. The defense is getting older, right? you're going to have to, at some point, these guys who are in their prime right now and playing some of the best ball of their career, the contention timeline is 2-3 years from now. So that's before you even talk about spending draft picks to plan ahead, which is what teams on a regular schedule, that's what they do with their early round draft picks. But the Browns, of course, are the least normal team in the league.